with one or two goals that express your desired outcomes as it relates to what you believe will help you to lead more effectively. I cannot determine that. You've created lots of data on yourself from day one of class this semester, from every reflection to assignments to feedback that you've gotten from me to what you've read in Leadership for a Better World and Leadership Theory and Practice. You've gotten a lot of inputs, and now you've got to take some time to synthesize those, grab some insights and say, I think I'd like to really work on my self-confidence or my persistence or my whatever it may be, my ability to handle conflict better, my the way that I leverage my story of self or leverage my identities. When we go into next semester, we'll be zeroing in on other theories, authentic leadership, transformational leadership, adaptive leadership. So there'll be more content for you to consider in your goals, but you need to come reflectively, hopefully over the break, thinking about what do you want to accomplish, and longer term. I mean, it goes way beyond the class, but also how you're going to track and monitor that. Right. So you're going to want to consider where you are and your goals express where you want to go. And I'm inviting you to identify up to 3 goals and no more than that would demonstrate leadership growth for you. I can't determine that. But I can say that I've seen in your labs certain expressions about areas of growth. Those are opportunities for you to go back to your notes, reflections, labs, what we studied, and say, this would actually help me to lead more effectively. So that's the invitation. Consider where you are. Look for a sense of what your desire is in terms of where you want to go. Identify up to 3, and I say up to 3 because if it's more than that, it becomes unwieldy, and then at the end of the day, you just turn in random thoughts, and that's not the goal. The goal is to be able to identify goals, and then from January, February, March, to really be able to track your own data again, to say, all right, I learned this, I'm applying this, I'm going to see how this meshes with the goal that I set, so that you end up with your own kind of sense of your leader identities, philosophy, and a sense of your practice. You're going to come up with the process for how you mark your progress toward your goals, but it really does involve applying what you learned along the way. So you'll see on the next semester, coming into class day 1, first semester, you didn't come in having to read anything, but second semester, day 1, you come in with your goals, because that's where the whole class really begins and keeps going from there. Any questions about that? Great. I will keep moving. Next semester, so first semester was very much about sort of the theoretical aspect of leading social change. Second semester is the leadership theories that are very practice-oriented, meaning that you can take a lot of what we cover in the text and use it very practically. And so there are 4 main theories that we'll cover: team leadership, authentic leadership, transformational leadership, and adaptive leadership. They're all integrated into social change leadership in lots of different ways. And again, I know that the information shared can be really valuable in your social design toolkit. The concepts of team leadership, I had weeded out of the syllabus, but I'm bringing it back because I think it's very much needed. So we're going to actually start the semester with that, and authentic leadership. And I'll be blending some of these things. Like first semester, we'll use, a bit of improv, a bit of case study work. But there'll be 3 main exemplars next semester. We'll be looking at the Montgomery Improvement Association as a case study. So this is where the civil rights history of the United States in the mid 20th century will come in as an exemplar of social change, but we'll be looking specifically at the Montgomery Improvement Association. We'll be looking at the life and work of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee with this particular focus on Diane Nash. And then we'll be looking at Brian Stevenson, who leads an organization in Montgomery, Alabama called the Equal Justice Initiative. He's a lawyer, but I acknowledge him as a social designer because in his quest to address issues related to social justice and mass incarceration, he has completely broken the mold in terms of the idea that we have to fit in these little boxes. So he is a lawyer. He's still practicing. He runs a national organization. He has argued in front of the U.S. Supreme Court, but he's also an author because he wrote his memoirs. Then he became a film producer because his memoir got turned into a film. And then he became a museum designer and created the most compelling, transformative spaces called museums that I've ever experienced in my adult life, which we will go see on our field trip to Montgomery, Alabama, which will be a centerpiece of next semester. So those of you who have expressed interest there, we're going to spend some time kind of designing what that trip actually looks like, and what you want to get out of it. So second semester really is going to be about, in every way, what you put in it, you will get out of it. Just like the whole course is really, which is something that your instructor, me, I can't manipulate that. Not even trying. You anything that you do, whatever you put in, you will get out of it. If you put in effort, passion, dedication, focus, you'll get the impact of that for yourself. You'll benefit from that. If you don't put anything in it, it'll be like, oh, whatever. It was fine. But it won't be transformative. And the goal, really, a good use of your time and resource is to get the most out of it that you possibly can. So we will journey along together. The big capstone of second semester is the Leadership Journey Artifact, which is described in the syllabus, which is the tangible evidence that you create of your journey. And the artifact, I will give you some guidance in terms of the types of content, but it really is up to you, content, format, and I intentionally leave it open because it's your story. It's your story of who you are as a leader, your identities, your philosophy of leading, your practice of leading, and then how you have addressed the goals that you set for yourself. I have seen every format imaginable in artifact development and implementation. from sculptures to paintings to papers, very few papers. Papers are boring, but to personal graphic novels, to a children's cutout shadow book. I never cease to be blown away by the creativity and genius of folks. Most importantly, the opportunity is for folks to create an artifact that is going to have meaning for you in a way that it lasts. And so, for example, when a student who took class of 2016, she's still building on her artifact. All these years later, she's come back to it again and again and added to it and built on it and finds it to be actually even more useful to her now that she's in more senior level positions at the consulting firm that she's currently working in. Sometimes stuff really resonates when you need to use it. So, any questions about that? Can I see who has indicated that they might be going to Montgomery? Okay. Great. Yeah, great, wonderful. Okay, that's helpful. And even if you aren't, you'll be supporting that field trip in some way. FYI, you won't be sitting on the side because the class is for everyone. But if you can go, I encourage you to go. It'll be life-changing. I guarantee it. Our final few minutes, I'm taking us back to the beginning. This is the space that you said that you wanted for this class. Quiet space, space where everyone can see each other, hear each other, having awareness of what's happening, an open space, an inclusive space, space of camaraderie, unconditional love, and accountability. So my question to us, and this is conversation for a few minutes, is how well did we do with the space? How well did we do with this space? Naomi, how well did we do with this space?
Hi.
What are your thoughts?
Let me think.
Space as a learning space? Obviously not just physical space, I guess.
Well, we designed the space of the class, so
Ah, there you go. Pointless.
That was what we did on the first day.
Yes, of course we did.
How did we do? And
Well,
where is there an opportunity to grow?
growth.
JT, what do you
I think.
Hi. I think overall we did a great job. But I think we're inclusive. Like everyone has different needs. I remember that some of us the needs is great. Some is to learn new things, and that's I don't know how to reach consensus, but we should talk more around that. Yeah, and quiet. I think yes, everyone can hear each other. Circles, we're not sitting in circles, but we can I think every times when someone speaks, we just see his or her, and we have great talk. and yeah, it's open. Like I asked some questions, and I feel like I was accepted, and I feel secure to talk my thoughts. So I like that. Yeah. So now I think just need